It exists, will continue in the future without interruption. Therefore, there is no cause for lamentation for anyone. The Mayavadi theory that after liberation, the individual soul, separated by covering of Maya or illusion, will merge into the impersonal Brahman and lose its individual existence, is not supported herein by Lord Krishna, the Supreme Authority. Nor is the theory that we only think of individuality in the continuous state supported herein by Krishna. Krishna clearly says herein that in the future also the individuality of the Lord and others, as is confirmed in the Upanishads, will continue eternally. This statement of Krishna is authoritative because Krishna cannot be subject to illusion. If individuality were not a fact, Krishna would not have stressed it so much, even for the future. The Mayavadis may argue that individuality spoken by Krishna is not spiritual but material. Even accepting the argument that the individuality is material, then how can one distinguish Krishna's individuality? Krishna affirms individuality in the past and confirms individuality in the future also. He confirms individuality in many ways. Okay, so I'll break the purport down, then I'll go further into it. Okay. The impersonal Brahman has been declared to be subordinate to him. Krishna has maintained spiritual universality as all along. If he is accepted as an ordinary conditioned soul in the individual consciousness, then his Bhagavad Gita has no value as authoritative scripture. A common man with all the four defects of human frugality is unable to teach that which is worth hearing. Bhagavad Gita, the Gita is above such literature. No mundane book compares with the Bhagavad Gita. When one accepts Krishna as an ordinary man, the Gita loses all importance. The Mayavadis argue that the impurity mentioned in this verse is conventional, that it refers to the body. But previous to this verse, such a bodily conception is already condemned. After condemning the bodily conception of living entities, how was it possible for Krishna to place a conventional proportion on the body again? Therefore, individuality is maintained on spiritual grounds and is thus confirmed by great acharyas like Srinamacharya and others. It is also clearly mentioned in many places in the Gita that this spiritual individuality is understood by those who are devotees of the Lord. Those who are envious of Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead have no bona fide access to the great literature. Non-devotees' approach to the teaching of the Gita is something like that of a bee licking on the bottle of honey. One cannot have a taste of honey unless one opens the bottle. Similarly, the mysticism of Bhagavad Gita can be understood only by devotees. No one else can taste it, as it is stated in the 4th chapter of the book. Nor can the Gita be touched by persons who envy the very existence of the Lord. Therefore, the Mayavadi explanation of the Gita is most misleading presentation of the whole truth. Lord Chaitanya has forbidden us to read commentaries made by the Mayavadis and warns the one who takes to such understanding of the Mayavad philosophy loses all power to understand the real mystery of the Gita. If individuality refers to the empirical universe, then there is no need to teaching by the Lord. The plurality of the individual soul and the Lord is eternal fact, for it is confirmed by the Vedas as above mentioned. Oma Gyanti Mandasya Gana Gana Salakaya Chaksurme Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. So, Hare Krishna. So, first point given is Krishna is giving enlightenment about the soul in this verse. Hare Krishna. In the present, I am existing. In the future, I shall exist. So what Krishna is saying is that we all have individuality. But the difference between Krishna and the individual soul is that Krishna is unlimited, but the soul is limited. So it is not like the Mayavadis say that everything merges into one. Krishna is unlimited, and Arjuna asks Krishna that how do I know that the knowledge is without any mistakes? So Krishna told Arjuna that in the past I spoke this Bhagavad Gita millions of years back to the sun god. But you were there, but you've forgotten, but I remember. And Srila Prabhupada explains in one of his lectures how the Mayavadis actually don't accept Krishna as a person. They minimize him as an energy. They think that he's impersonal. Because as soon as you accept a person, you have to surrender. And when you accept energy, then you don't have to surrender. So it's a philosophy which is meant to cater sense gratification. And the other thing behind it is there's many verses in the scriptures the Mayavadis don't touch. Like in the Ishopanishad, the first invocation verse, Om Purnam Ada Purnam Ida Purnam Purnasya Purna Adaya Purna Purna. Although so many units, so many incarnations come from the Lord, He remains a complete whole. Even though so many complete units are coming from Him. So Mayavadis don't comment on that because that defeats their philosophy. And there's many questions they can't really answer, like they say everyone is Narayan, the Daridra Narayan. But Prabhupada, he get the argument, why only the poor are Narayan, the rich are Narayan also? In Krishna's eyes, everyone is equal. He doesn't make any distinction. So why classify the only poor as Narayan? And there was another point given, how the argument they give is everyone is Narayan, so how is it that if they're saying then they're Narayan, they can't manifest 6 opulences at one time? When Krishna appeared, he manifested 6 opulences at one time. Wealth, strength, knowledge, beauty, renunciation, wisdom, fame, like this. He manifested all these 6 opulences at one time. And one of their main arguments is they say that Krishna is everywhere, but he's not in the temple. But the argument Prabhupada gave was, if Krishna is everywhere, why is he not in the temple? So their arguments are not it's not very good arguments, but they're given in a juggery way, in a way which puzzles everyone. And actually, Sankaracharya preached his philosophy for a reason. It's explained that he preached his philosophy for a reason. Because first Lord Buddha came and he stopped animal killing. Then Sankaracharya came into, because Lord Buddha denied the scriptures, he denied the Vedas, because people were misusing the Vedas. So then Lord Shiva came as Sankaracharya and he preached the Mayavad philosophy and he reintroduced the Vedas back. But he preached his philosophy in a way to bewilder the demons. Because the demons were misguiding devotees. So he introduced his philosophy to bewilder the demons. But there's another insight behind this, why this philosophy came about, is after Lord Chaitanya just disappeared, people tried to go to Raganuga Bhakti directly without going to Sadhana Bhakti. So first comes Sadhana Bhakti, deity worship, worshipping Tulsi, hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, chanting holy name, association of devotees like this. These are 5 angas of sadhana bhakti. Then by this process, one becomes strong spiritually, and then he can also go deep into the chanting of the holy name by learning the process, how to avoid offenses to chanting the holy name, and associating with advanced devotees, showing compassion to the fallen souls, like that. Because Krishna wants to reciprocate with us, he's very close to us. And there's a very good argument Prabhupada gave. He said, just like you don't say shine, you say sunshine. So same thing, the soul and Krishna are very close. But because we've been conditioned for many lifetimes in this body, and this world is a world of ignorance, we have forgotten Krishna for many lifetimes. So we just have to reconnect with Krishna again. But because of our conditioned nature, anathas are coming up, anathas come up, the association of devotees is very important. So by associating with devotees, we get a spiritual shield around us. Having that spiritual shield, Maya cannot enter. And the other example is there also, like Srila Prabhupada emphasizes in his lectures on this topic, he said people are so enamored by making money that they work very hard. And he said, Janadipaha, Prabhupada gives the point on this word, Janadipa. He says, there's mercenaries who are sent to war and they kill on behalf of the commanders. They're like Janadipaha. And both are into earning money. They're all into, but the Janadipas avoid the war. Maybe they haven't seen a battlefield. But the mercenaries, they go because of money. And they're willing to, money is like honey. They're willing to give their life for money. So, we have to have this conviction strong in us that ultimately Krishna is maintaining us. Even though we are in the material world, we obligations we may have to family, go to work, commitments, but we have to have Krishna in the center. So by having Krishna in the center and being around devotees, then we don't get affected by the modes of nature, because this material world is affected by the modes of nature, goodness, passion, ignorance. So we have to try and follow the line of sadhana bhakti. So this we have to learn from devotees. how to do that. Have a life of discipline, rise early in the morning, chant Hare Krishna, hear Prabhupada lectures, hear the lectures, come for festivals. Lord Ram's appearance just went, Lord Nrsingadev's appearance is coming soon, 4th of May, like that. But Prabhupada said one time, some of my devotees are not afraid of Maya. They like to flirt with Maya. But one has to be careful because Maya is strong. It's Krishna's energy. So Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Devi Suguna Mai, Mama Maya Duriyate, Mama Ipapadyante, Vasudeva Maya Me Tarantite. That this energy is my energy. And unless one surrenders to me, he cannot overcome this energy. So, Prabhupada gives an example like state laws. There is the police, there is the army. Government these are the laws the government sets. So even Krishna has his supreme energy, Durga Devi. She's like the police agent of Krishna. So Durga Devi has, she says, for those who surrender to Krishna, she may test out because she's Krishna's police agent to see if the person wants to serve Krishna. So if it's sincere, then she will assist that person to serve Krishna. But if the person wants to disturb Krishna, then she has two potencies, Varyatmika and Pratyatmika. So the one is the covering potency, the other one is throwing potency. So there is a saying, man-made laws you can escape, but God's laws you can't escape. And the example is given, nature's laws are very strict. That's like you put your hand in fire, you get burnt. Even a child puts his hand in fire, he gets burnt. The fire will not say, he's a child, I won't burn. Or if you overeat too much, then you get dysentery, you can't eat for 3 days. So like that, nature's laws are very strict. So when you talk about nature, whose nature? God's nature. There's a person behind. Even in normal way of life, you see, now they put everything computerized, right? Machines but even behind all that, there's a person behind it. If you analyze at the end, there's a person behind it. It's not just happening just by machine. So when you talk about the material world, there's a person behind it. But he's the supreme person. He said, Nitya Nityanam Chetana Chetananam Eko Bhavam Vedati Kaman. He's the one supreme person who's maintaining all living entities. Example can be given, just like if someone has a friend who's a multi-billionaire, and just by the click of his fingers, all the problems are gone. Who will not like to have a friend like that? So Krishna is that friend. We surrender to his instructions, we serve his devotees, and then the difficulties will move away, they'll vanish. The only thing we have to Bhaktivedanta Thakur gives a very nice vision how to go about on your path of surrender to Krishna. He said, if you do these three things, then your path becoming clear to surrender, going to Krishna will become very clear. So he says, Vaishnava Seva, Namaruchi, chanting holy name, and helping the fallen souls. So if you see someone who's open to Krishna's mercy, you give them mercy. prasad or book. In this way, you help them come to Krishna. And the benefit behind that is that even though you may not be advanced, if that person becomes advanced, you get blessings. That's the benefit behind preaching. So, there's a interesting story. I'll finish off with this story. It's to show how Krishna, if we surrender to him, he's willing to reciprocate with us. So this is Udaya Acharya. This is a pastime with Lord Jagannath. There was once a great scholar in Mithila named Udaya Acharya. He was a great Pandit in Nyaya philosophy. He was able to defeat everyone and establish his own verdict. No one dared to argue with him. Even learned Buddhist and Jain philosophers avoided meeting with him out of fear. Once Udaya Acharya developed a desire to study Jagannath philosophy. He found in the Skanda Purana a verse that read, Yatra Shakya Jagannath Shankha Chakra Gadada Chatum Disham Mukti Ya Date Kipabdi. Pushar Mahamaya 730. Whoever takes darshan of Daru Brahma Jagannath will immediately be liberated. Although Uday had faith in Lord Jagannath, still he could not believe this statement. Yet he had desire to examine the verse more thoroughly. One time he travelled to Puri. He arrived at night and went to take a rest, planning to go for darshan the following morning to see if he would get liberation, like the verse said. Early the next morning, the head pujari came to the temple gate, but he could not open it. Others soon arrived and all tried their best, but none could open the temple. No puja could be done, and there was no mangalarti. A message was sent to the king, who came personally and tried to open the doors. Still they could not open. Everyone thought a very sinful person had arrived in Puri, whom the Lord did not want to see. For the entire day the doors remained shut. Finally everyone went home and took rest. During the night, Lord Jagannath appeared to the head pujari in his sleep and told him, as long as this non-believer Udaya Acharya is in Puri, my door will not open. I am only available to those who have faith in me. Faithless person cannot reach me. The next morning, Udaya Acharya performed puja to his Shalagram Shila. At that time, the head pujari of the Jagannath temple, along with many others, arrived at Udaya Acharya's place. The pujari asked, "Are you Udaya Acharya from Mithila?" Udaya Acharya stood and replied, "Why, yes, I am the pujari. Yes, I am." The pujari said to him, "You have no faith that one will attain liberation just by taking darshan of Lord Jagannath. That is why Lord Jagannath temple did not open yesterday. As long as you may remain here, his doors will not open." Uday was surprised to hear this. Immediately understood Uday was surprised to hear this, and immediately he understood his mistake. He said, "Due to one sinful person like me, so many people will be deprived of having darshan of Lord Jagannath. I must go myself to pray to the Lord for forgiveness. Let me see whether he listens to my prayer." Udaya Acharya went to the temple and being very humble, he prayed to Lord Jagannath. Immediately the door of Lord Jagannath's temple opened. Everyone took darshan of the Lord. Any comments or questions? Well, the thing is, Maya is everywhere, but Maya is only there because we don't see Krishna within that. Yeah, so you have to have Krishna there, then Maya will not touch you. This is why the sadhana is important. You rise early in the morning, you chant your rounds, chant Hare Krishna, you hear class. That's like your spiritual shield. You protect it. And the other thing is, you have to interact with people. That's normal. You can't avoid that. That's part of the world you're living in. But your heart should be given to devotees and Krishna, not to outside people who are not interested. Because they will not help you in your Krishna consciousness. Just like, because the material world is there because we turn our backs on Krishna. And so we have to be around devotees because it says Krishna manifests in 4 forms in this world. Mahaprasade Govinde, Namabrahmana Vaishne, Sapampatam Padavajan, Vishvasana Vijayate. He comes in deity form, he comes in the holy name, he comes in Mahaprasadam, and he comes as a devotee. So Krishna is manifest directly in these 4 forms to give us his shelter. So if we take shelter of the devotees, then we are protected. If we, so we have to be in connection with devotees somehow. And Prabhupada says in his lectures, he says, Koti Nartam Das Thakur, that we have to be always associated with devotees. Because you look at the world situation, it's not like people may think that they're earning money and they can survive the way they want to and all this, but it doesn't work like that. Everything goes according to your karma. Everything based on karma. In many scriptures, they've taken the karma out of the equation. But that doesn't mean karma doesn't exist. So unless you're around devotees, connection through hearing their instructions and being in spiritual atmosphere, the Maya's influence will affect. Like Prabhupada said, this is in Juhu temple, when they were building the Juhu temple. This is when snakes were everywhere and rats and mosquitoes and all these things. There were these 2 devotees, they went to a life member's house. And they were staying there and they asked Prabhupada, is it okay to do this? And Prabhupada said, any house you live in, after 3 days you'll feel the karma. You'll feel the effect of the karma. So Prabhupada told the devotees, better you live with devotees, it's safer. Although they're going through austerity, but their purpose is to serve Krishna. So in this way the purity is there. So like that, see? So even though, like Prabhupada gives an example, like pots and pans, if they get together they'll make noise. So what to say about living beings, how much noise. So even when you're devotees, different things may come up, but because Krishna is the center, everything works out nicely. Any other questions or comments? Antaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai. Shishi. Turn the volume down a bit. Shri Radha Govinda ki. Shishi Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman ki. Shishi Gornitai ki. It's fine. Just something mellow. No. It's fine. Try it. Okay, then play something else. You know how to play? Okay, Luke, bring it. He can play the harmony. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Shri Mate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashachadeshatarine. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Is that good though? Not the other one.
Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Gokula Nanda, Radha Gokula Nanda, Radha Gokula Nanda, Shri Radhe. Radhe Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radhe. Jaya Radha Shama Sundar, Radha Shama Sundar, Radha Shama Sundar, Shri Radhe. Jaya Radhe Sham, Radhe Sham, Radhe Sham, Jaya Radhe Sham. Sham Jaya Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman, Jaya Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman. Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Gauranitai. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna, everyone. If you may all stand now, and we'll have Guru Arti.
Jai Shri Shri Radha Gokulanda Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman Shri Shri Gaur Nitai Ke Jai. All right, everyone. So, good evening. We're having the Arti here written on the top, on the right-hand side in the corner. So you can follow from there, line after line, please. Okay. He Badaya Jaya Guratande Aratika Soho. He Bhaktaya Jaya Gaurachane Aratika Soba. Jana Veta Tava me ga da da Nikate adventa sini vasata Sandharine Varana Utvala Radha Gokulananda Shri Hare. We can offer now our obeisances to the Lordships by bowing down. And you can glorify the Lordships by saying after Jai Om Vishnu Pada Paramahamsa Parivakacharya Asata Shishimati's Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki ISKCON Founders Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Anantakoti Vaishnavinda Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Se Kup Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasari Gaura Bhaktavinda Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopi Gopinath Shama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai Navarit Mayapur Dham Ki Jai Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai Bhaktivedanta Manor Dham Ki Jai Kura Peminande Ganga Mai Ki Jai Yamuna Mai Ki Jai Tulasi Devi Ki Jai Vinda Devi Ki Jai Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Samaveta Bhakta Vinda Ki Jai. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. So if you remain seated, please. We're offering now Nishimadev prayer. Would you like to say? You want to say?
Namaste Narasimhaya Namaste Narasimhaya ra la da la da da ne Hiranyakashipurvaksha Shilatankanakalaye Itorna Simha Paratorna Simha Yata Yata Yamita Torna Simha Bahir Simha Hidayah Simha Narasimha Madim Sharanam Prapade Tavakara Kamalavadaka Adbhuta Shringam Dalita Hiranyakashipu Dhanabringam Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Amalavare Naka Adbhuta Shringam Dalita Hiranyakashipu Dhanabringam Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare
Going on. So now we are serving Mahaprasadam outside at the reception. Hare Krishna. The next art is at 9 o'clock actually, today night. Yeah. Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.